Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another week, another qualifier here of the Stellarfest. The Stellarfest qualifier here for the global qualifier, I should say, for all the regions. I'm of course just VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. For those that are curious, we were originally going to be covering some of the qualifiers earlier a couple of days ago, but we were unavailable. Unfortunately, things did come up, and we've already had qualifiers for Stellarfest take place. The other regional qualifiers, the Americas, the Asia qualifier, and the European qualifier as well. We already have some confirmed players making it through and getting those tickets, that travel accommodation to compete into a big offline event happening in Canada, but there's one qualifier left. Let's go. We have one qualifier left. This is the global qualifier. This is where those from Europa, from the Americas, and from Korea all come together. All come together to face off here and now in this final last chance qualifier. The winner of this qualifier, the one player to make it through, will actually make it into that main event, into the offline finals, or into the offline event. I should emphasize. Only one spot. I believe only one spot is available. So best of luck to all the competitors here, as there's again only one spot between all the competitors. Oh boy, let's go. I'll switch your scenes over. Exclamation mark be in the chat to have a look back yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we do have quite a lineup here. We have Percival versus Euthermal in the first round when it goes up against Shin. We have Creator versus Bonyo when it goes up against Spirit. We have Christiana versus Geralt, so that is going to be our series leading into Zoun. And we have Nightmare versus Triple leading into Ryung. Oh boy, so we do have a pretty intense lineup of players here. Pretty intense. And again, I should speak a little bit on Stellarfest itself. Again, Stellarfest is going to be a big offline event happening over in Canada that is going to be taking place in November. So coming into November, it's a pretty intense month of StarCraft for the Americas, where you have Stellarfest, which is happening in Canada, and you have the SC for All tournament happening in Philadelphia, I believe a week prior to that. So I think it's going to be SC for All into Stellarfest, and of course you have the S2 Safe House at the end of October as well. So a lot of StarCraft, a lot of NA StarCraft specifically. It's yeah, it's gonna be pretty NA centric coming into November, coming out of October into November. A lot of NA StarCraft. Let's go. But of course we have some international representation that's going to be traveling to that event as well. Here we go. When it comes to the qualifiers so far, I believe we already have 3 players making it through all the regionals. So Clem made it through the European regional, we had Trigger making it through the Americas regional, and we had Björn making it through the Asia regional, the Asia qualifier. So we have Björn, Trigger, and Clem making it through, and we have one more player to join them as a part of that offline event in Canada. Let's go. Let us go. Kind of a quiet global qualifier. Europe was the same. Rain was talking about going to Korea or something being unannounced around the same time. Maybe something big is cooking. I mean, now that I think about it, as we're getting into our first series, I mean, we'll just get into it. This morning in the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the pink Protoss player. The pink Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Geralt. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss himself, representing Offside Esports, also from Poland. It is Christiana. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Will go the way of Christiana, will go the way of Geralt. 2 very high-profile players in the European region, 2 players very close in skill, and we'll see who will make it through. Quickly touching on something said in the chat about the qualifier itself. I mean, I don't know if I would agree that it's a quiet qualifier. If you're watching the Asia qualifier, you had all the Vitality boys, right? Zoun, Ryung, and Maru. Like, Maru does not play in qualifiers. Like, he does not play in online tournaments, so for Maru to actually take part, I mean, I'm sure the team itself, Team Vitality, did, you know, let the players know, let their team know, and did kind of push for that. But if you have players like Maru, you have players like Zoun, Björn, like if you have the Zoun and Ryung, like I don't know if there's anything planned in Korea if you have them signing up and looking to compete in Stellarfest. Likewise, from the European side of things, like for Clem to also sign up and to compete, like and for Trigger as well. If you do look at the qualifiers themselves, I want to say that we had the best players possible, right? Like we had Clem from Europe, Trigger from the Americas, and Bjorn from Asia. I say Bjorn from Asia. He beat Maru to qualify. Like, so I mean, so yeah, some really high profile players making through the regional qualifiers. Here I will say that we don't have some of those returning players, right? Like true, like Maru isn't here this time, but we have some others to take his place, right? Like your Shins, like your Spirits, your Zouns, your Youngs. I mean, hey, you have the other Team Vitality players here. It's possible that maybe Maru just wasn't available here tonight, because I'm sure otherwise he would be here since Zoun and Young are. But when it comes to the quantity of signups, that is true. That is a little bit lessened. It's all good. Short and sweet. When it comes to offline events happening, right, that's what I was going to touch on. At least in Korea, we do know that the RSL event is happening in December, but that's the next month, of course. What else do we know of? He might be talking about Season 3 of RSL. I don't know if they plan on hosting part of that in the studio. I would love it if they did, but that might be a part of it. Maybe. Since RSL is going to be happening October, November. It's going to be RSL Season 3, of course. For now, we have our tech of choice. Twilight Council open out of Cristiano. Meanwhile, faster expansion out of Geralt going for a Stargate first. So Stargate expand. Meanwhile, Twilight Council expand out of Cristiano. Both players going for different directions. With this, Geralt, he will be able to harass across the map. He'll be active as well, and we'll see what he can get done. The goal of the Stargate opener, of course, is to gain an economic lead by dealing economic damage. And again, we'll see how much damage we can do. At the same time, Cristiano, he's aware. He did scouts. Ooh, does waste a force field, but at least he's aware of the Stargate. So Cristiano, he knows what's coming his way, and he should be getting ready. So now Geralt, he does poke in. Let's poke in, Cristiano, he will deflect. They're taking a lot of hits on the pylon, and no safety shield butter in the low ground. Bold move. Oh, just looking down. Oh, very nice. Oh my god. With 4 force fields, he gets 1. Only 1. Yeah, only 1 Stalker does go down. Clutch recall. That was a lot of force fields. So a bit of a give and take. Bit of a trade as the Oracle takes. Oh no! Oh, bit of miscontrol with the Oracle. Ay. The Oracle was left idle, unfortunately, and it does go down. That should not have happened. A big blunder here from Geralt. A massive blunder. And with that, Cristiano, he defends. He didn't even invest into any shield batteries in the mineral lines. Yeah, no shield batteries, none required. None even here at the natural. Third base is on the way. Cristiano being greedy. And the pressure is on Geralt. The pressure is on. He can shade into the mineral line, to it. They can one-shot drones, they can one-shot workers. We'll see what he can accomplish. Ooh, no wall. Yeah, no wall going into the main, gets 1. Gets 2. And, ooh, barely gets 3. Yeah, 3, 4 probe kills, not bad. Gets 4 kills towards the end. I mean, hey, that's something. Behind this, Goldie throws down a proxy pylon. We do have 4 gateways, so we have an influx of gateways here for Geralt before he expands. So Geralt, he should have the larger army. Should have a larger army, should have more supply. We'll see him move out. Oracle does it into natural, gets 1 probe. Gets at least 1 more, and thankfully this time does survive, does get away. Meanwhile, we did mention how Geralt, he does have the larger Stalker count. Remember, he has a larger army here because his base is so late, right? His third base is delayed in favor of these warp-ins. He's up by 2, takes down the sentry. But Geralt, he still needs more damage. rotating around. The Oracle is activated. Adepts into the mineral line. Adepts, they do shade in. Oh, never mind. Do cancel the shade. Much cancel. Geralt, he has the high ground. He has that position. Not bad. Yeah, better concave. Better engage. Despite that, we'll lose one Stalker. The Immortal comes in from behind. The stasis. Oh my god, does he notice? He does. Yeah, it does have stasis. Whew, barely does. Shadows to the Observer. And Cristiano, he defends. He defends, did lose 4 probes in the process, so he does fall slightly behind here economically. Geralt, he's catching up. Cristiano, of course, he was mining more for longer. And Geralt, he is supply block. Ooh, going for the kill. Oh, does get it. Has a kill, not a cancel. Not bad. Yeah, nice pickup. As now Cristiano looking to chase. Prism is on the way. Just waiting for his Warp Prism, then he can move out. Until then, Geralt looking to take a lead. Now again, the third base and the would-be fourth base hasn't kicked in yet, but he's working towards it. Geralt, he's getting there. Behind this, working towards charge, +1, gateway explosion. Speaking of charge already complete for Cristiano, now working on +2. So Cristiano, he does have a pretty big, pretty substantial upgrade lead. He has a pretty massive window in time where he has that +1 advantage. The War Prism is out, which means Cristiano, he can start to push. See if he goes for it, or just harass. Here we go. Meanwhile, big shout out to Holy Lime in the chat. Holy Lime 23. God, Papi, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 32 months, Papi. Oh my god. 32. That's a lot of months. That's a lot of months. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Este Holy Lime. Gracias, Cyclone. Cristiano does break in. Very nice target firing at the Geralt. Snipes the Warp Prism. Prism goes down. No reinforcements. Bold link there by Cristiano. Does have the high ground. But again, he can no longer warp in. And warping in from back home. And Geralt, he buys more time. Buys more time, but +2 is almost complete. Don't want to hit that anti-timing. Cristiano only poking with their Stalkers. +2 is done in a couple of seconds. Zelda moving in. And that's a lot of... It's a very charge heavy composition. Cristiano, he does not have a lot of Archons. Yeah, just the one. The Archon count is very low. And again, Archons are ideal against Zealots. Okay. Second Archon. Cristiano, he should be... Yeah, there we go. He's holding onto a Warp in. Cristiano, supply blocks. Oof, brutal moment. Now's not the time. Yeah, trying to kite back. It breaks through all the Zealots. I say that another flank comes in. And Geralt, can he barely hold on? With reinforcements, Cristiano looks like he should have enough to get on top of the Archons. And he does. There we go. First, second, third Archon going to be going down. And with that, Cristiano, he breaks through. He breaks through here, everyone. So he takes down the Archons, pushes into the Stalkers. GG gets called, and Cristiano, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Cristiano, he will take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense game here, but Cristiano, he had a much stronger start to the game. He had a very nice lead, very comfortable lead coming in towards the mid game. We did see that Geralt was able to recover a little bit towards the end, towards the tail end of the game, getting a faster fourth base, but we spoke about those upgrades. Big upgrade advantage for Cristiano, and of course, the larger army as well. The higher quality army. Geralt was mainly working with purely Zealot there towards the end, and needed more time to recover, take more gases, get into +2. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2, and we'll see if Geralt can bounce back. We'll see if Cristiano can claim it here and now. Let's go. Let us go. That engagement looked good for Geralt. I mean, it was a very messy fight initially there. It didn't look too bad initially, but as we mentioned, you know, Again, upgrades weren't quite in his favor. The supply was in favor of Cristiano. Cristiano, he had more stalkers, he had less zealots. Again, very zealot heavy. Very zealot heavy with Geralt, I mean. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game, and we're going to be loading into Persephone. Dang it. Rainer said it was travel from Korea to Canada and then back, and then this other event that was too much. Okay, interesting. I mean, at the same time, I don't know if he would have been able to make it through the qualifier. Like, as we mentioned, right? Like, with Clem competing, like, Clem was or would be the favorite player, even if everyone else did show up. Regardless, GG. GG. But yeah, exciting to hear that we have potentially another event on the horizon, potentially. It would be really cool if we had, like, say, I don't know, like another Star Wars 11, or Stars War, Stars War 11, or Stars War 12 it would be. Or Masters Coliseum. I mean, the off-season would be the time for that. True. Would be the time for something like that. Yeah, especially with everything happening in regards to the Chinese server, it would not surprise me if SE Boy had something in the works, like, towards the end of the year. Would make sense. But here we go. We're getting into game 2. And this morning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the pink Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Also, why do I see Sig in the chat, but I don't see him on the bracket? What's going on here, Pipe? What's going on? Ay. Este Sig. SMH my head. Where is Sig in the bracket? So now we're opening up. From here, we should just be seeing 2 gate openers. We'll see if anyone commits into a proxy and commits into something more aggressive. We'll keep an eye on our boys. How has PvP been on the new patch? PvP is slightly different. I say slightly different. A lot of it is a little bit more theoretical. We haven't seen too much. But my assumption coming into this, or my at least analysis coming into it, is that all-ins would be a little bit stronger in the new patch. The reasoning for this is because the NG recharge is a little bit weaker. So I would imagine that defending against, say, Proxy Robo and Proxy Gates, one-base all-ins will be a little bit harder. Likewise, on top of that, PvP, the Oracles have been adjusted. That's going to be a big change, especially, as we do lock in the probe. We lock in 2. There's 2 probes locked in, papi. Este Cristiano. Does cancel in time. Ay. Cristiano is so cheeky. Oh my god. So quick. But the Stasis Ward was also changed, and that is impactful in regards to Max Pax's PvP. If you've been watching PvP, including Max Pax against Hero, against Classic, against Showtime, against anyone, once he gets into the mid game, he's very fond of Stargate based openers. Like 2 gate into a Stargate into an expansion. It typically makes 1, 2 to 3 oracles, and with those oracles he is very effective, not just at harassing but throwing down stasis traps back at home defensively. But now with the Stasis Ward nerf, he cannot be as careless or as carefree with those Stasis Wards. But that was a big kind of influencing factor when it comes to Max Pax's PvP, is just how effective he was at using those Stasis Wards. For those that are curious what the nerf was, the duration of the Stasis Ward was reduced, of the ward itself, not the effectiveness. So very often you'd see like stasis fields, basically. You'd have like 5, 6, 7 Stasis Wards scattered all around Max Pax's side of the map, and it'd be very difficult for the opposing player to break through. Now the Stasis Wards are they're lasting less, or they're taking less time, it doesn't mean that they expire faster, so that isn't going to be as oppressive. So that's like another kind of big change in PvP. I would say those are the two big ones. I guess the other one is, I guess, less scouting. A little bit less scouting, as it's going to be a little bit fewer, a little bit less energy on the hallucinations, on the sentries. But I don't think that's like as meaningful. I don't think it's going to be as impactful. If you're curious about like the meta or like the builds themselves, like everything should be the same. Just again, some things going to be slightly better, some things slightly worse, but only slightly. Like no major changes in PvP. Oh. As Oracle picks in. I know there was some people that were like theorizing like could Storm be useful in mid-game PvP when you go for Zealot heavy compositions. It might be useful just as a tool to kind of work with, because you're already going into a Templar Archive, you're already going into Archon production and High Templar production anyway. Would Storm be useful there? Maybe. Like the problem is that, as we do snipe the Oracle, nice pick up here by Cristiano. I would say the problem there is that, I don't know how viable it would be as a zoning tool, especially with how mobile the Protoss army is. But maybe. Like the problem is that like you're saying, oh, could we maybe go into Storm, when typically you go into Disruptors, and that's just superior, right? Like Novas, they trade so much more efficiently with their Novas connecting as opposed to Storm, for example, in PvP. I can maybe see some people like messing around with it a little bit, but I don't know how viable it's going to be. Like having Storm as a transition point after Archon production. So interesting that it's theoretical. I mean, I say theoretical because in the PvPs that we've casted, it hasn't really been too impactful outside of the max fax change, right? Outside of the like there have been less stasis wards, less stasis traps. Max fax's Oracle play is diminished, so I guess that's not theoretical. That's that has panned out, but like we expected that. Behind this, he does barely slip into the mineral line, gets a couple of probe kills. 3 probes going down. Cristiano still has a slight worker advantage. If you recall, Cristiano, he also killed the first Oracle, so far a better start for Cristiano once again. With the Oracle gets sniped, and the Stargate opener so far wasn't quite worth it for Geralt. Wasn't quite worth it. Poking, prodding, does dive in. Yeah, does moving forward, going for the sentries. Sentries they pull away in time. There's Zealots here to defend. Ooh, and Cristiano, he responds. Yeah, Cristiano does get her in time. He punishes quite hard. That's a lot of Stalkers going down. Ay. Losing 5, losing 6. Yeah, that's a lot of Stalkers. That was not worth it. That's 5 Stalkers falling and an Adept for almost nothing. And Cristiano, he has momentum. He has momentum, he's moving out. Geralt's in a rough position. He's actually out of position. And the base is going to go down. Denies the 4th. Geralt coming in from behind. He's going for the War Prism. Yeah, Prism has to get the hell out of here. Does pull away. Geralt, he attempts to surround. But he doesn't really have that much to work with. Yeah, we can just warp in. We can't go for the warp in. Oh, he goes to dive. Okay, not bad. Does dive in, but he gets punished. Yeah, there are just so many zealots here. Cristiano here overwhelms, and Cristiano here will claim the series. I was hoping for a back and forth, but again, we had a little bit rusty, a little bit shaky play out of Geralt with the Stargate openers, with the economic disadvantages. And with that, a GG. GG gets called. Cristiano, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Cristiano, really solid defense out of Cristiano. There was a lot of pressure on Geralt to try to find some damage because he was behind in the worker count, so he was doing whatever he could with Adept harass, with Stalker harass, but he got caught out. If you recall, he lost the Stalkers as he tried to push into the natural. He took a little bit too long when it came to finding any damage. We saw that Cristiano, he was able to catch him, able to block him out, and then just snowballed from there. GG. GG, well played. Just really crisp play there out of Cristiano. Does advance on. And with that, we're going to be following Cristiano into his next series. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. The bracket is live, and Cristiano, he will advance on to face off against Zoun in the next round. Meanwhile, we have some other matches also commencing. We have Ryung versus Nightmare in the second round as well, and we have Spirit versus Creator. Let's go. Meanwhile, I believe Steadfast is covering Percival and Euthermal. So I believe Steadfast is in that series. And for those that are curious, Steadfast, he is the mainstream. The reasoning for this is Steadfast, I believe he's also going to be at the offline event in Canada. I believe he's going to be covering Stellarfest live at the event. So he's the mainstream. So he has dibs on what he wants. So he did pick Percival versus Euthermal, so we're staying clear of that. And he might hop around in the quarterfinals as well. Let's see. So we have to figure out where Steadfast wants to go next. He should be following the winner of Percival and Euthermal into Shin, but we'll see. We'll see. Bet myself into Broods too often through ZVP. Okay. I mean, there's still a lot of game states that we haven't seen yet. I mean, if you want to hear us talk about it more in depth, you can check us out over on the podcast. We did have a long discussion about it. But there are a lot of kind of game states that we still have to wait and see. And they just haven't been happening, despite having all these open cups. And we've casted quite a lot of tournaments on the new patch already. We have not really seen much ZVT, for example, which might change here today with Shin series. But again, like, Zerg representation is still very small. It's still very, very low in open cups and in online tournaments. So because of that, we haven't been able to experience a lot of ZVP or ZVT. So the new Microbial Shroud is something that I have yet to see, actually. Like, despite that we cast, you know, every day, sometimes multiple times a day, I've yet to see the new Microbial Shroud in any competitive match. We haven't really seen its impact yet in regards to Zerg versus Terran specifically. Likewise, we haven't seen any late game ZVP, but we don't expect to, right? Like, ZVP is typically Zerg players, they all in every game. So we haven't seen like any Broodlords come into play, for example, with the new Broodlord change. We're probably gonna have to wait for some of the bigger events to come around for that to happen. Events including Serral, I mean, for a late game ZVP.
Everybody calling for you thermal.
So I'm trying to figure out what our players are getting into, or what the casters are getting into. Yo, meanwhile, big shout out to Spagoots, Papi God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 6 months, for half a year's support. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. The reason I love Live VIP's casting is because I don't even need to look at the screen. I know what's happening in the game. SC2 radio. Let's go. Let's go. Aye. Glad you enjoy, Papi. Glad you enjoy. Sort of likes the Shroud. He is not easy to impress. That's cool. I mean, the Shroud looks good. It's just that it hasn't been used in competitive play yet. Like, it's very niche. Like, I don't see it having much uses against Protoss. But that's also why I was emphasizing ZBT. Like, I do see it having a lot of uses against Terran. We just haven't experienced that yet. But you know, soon, I'm sure. Soon, I'm sure. We get to see it. Anyone streaming Young's games? There are some other language streams. So we have ourselves. We're casting in English. Steadfast is casting in English. He's covering the Euthermal matches. And we also have TKL. TKL, he's the French stream. He's also covering some matches. I don't know if there's anyone else. As far as I can tell, I think it's just the 3 of us. Yeah. So it's Steadfast, the Ducklings, and TKL. Just as a heads up. Here we go. As Vitas are done and we are jumping into our next series, we're jumping into the quarterfinals. We have our PvP. Again, Cristiano, he did just take down Geralt, and we're going to be following him into Zoun. Meanwhile, if you want to follow Euthermal, he just took down Percival, and I believe Setfast should be following Euthermal into Shin. I believe that should be his series. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the Polish Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. We go. Whew. Here we go. And again, Zoun coming in as one of the heavy favorites to make it through and qualify for the event. At the same time, Cristiano has some killer PvP. I can see this going the distance. I can see this going all the way to the ace match. Oh, as we do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything is okay. And also, before I get ahead of myself, if you're in the chat, it's Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as hopefully the latency does clear up. Best of luck. Indy is supposed to be streaming, but after he fixes heating system in the house. Oh no! Indy! Share my papi, share my. Fair enough, fair enough. Much love to Indy. Much love. I'm sure he'll jump on soon. Take care of yourselves. I know it's getting quite cold in Europa, as we're getting into winter. Here in Australia, it's getting hot, as you can imagine. The weather's heating up, papi. It's heating up. So jumping back into the game. In the last series, the players were quite passive in how they opened up. We saw 0 proxies, right? 0 proxies, 0 pylons, 0 fake proxies as well. Neither player really committed. Oh, speaking of, hello Zoun. What's going on? Probe is sent out, a pylon on the high ground, and this might just be a fake out, or we might commit to a proxy on the low ground. Here we go. Yep, pylon has been placed, the probe does rotate over towards the low ground, and there's a prime location for a proxy rover, a 1-base all-in. Meanwhile, Cristiano, he knows at least that a pylon is missing, so he's aware that something is wrong, something is amiss, and it comes down to Cristiano finding the proxy and trying to figure out is a Stargate, a rover, or a gateway, or a fake out. Which one is it? How does he respond? Cybercore is done, and Cristiano sends out a second probe to scout. So he's going to be checking the northern side of the map. Meanwhile, the proxy is dead set. Oh, in the center as we do get another pause. Oh, yeah, unfortunately, there's still some latency going on. Ah, it's really unfortunate. Hopefully it clears up. Hopefully. We can always regame if need be. Can always look to regame. Today in the morning, it's like 2 degrees Celsius. Ah. Aye. I mean, thankfully, I feel like in Poland, like centralized heating or like heating the household is relatively common. Relative. So you can stay warm. Take care, Pappy. Take care. Look after yourselves. Nice match. Oh, hello Azura. Hello, Azura. Yeah, I mean we're still kind of mid-series. We're just hoping to get through some latency issues. Azura. It's a must. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Good. Of course you would say that. Azura. Once again, I said it to Sig. I say it to Azura. Where is Azura in the bracket, Pack? Where is he in the brackets? We could be casting Azura versus Zoun instead. Oh no. Azura. You haven't missed too much here. We're still in the early game. We've already seen that Zoun is coming into an all-in. It's on Cristiano to scout, and we'll see what his response is going to be. He could respond with a faster Nexus, could respond with a Stargate, could respond with a rover. Oh, let's go. I forgot this was a thing. God damn it, that's it. God damn it. As again, Cristiano is searching for the proxy on the top side. You can see a Stalker fanning out towards the south side as well. Meanwhile, the proxy again dead set in the center. Cybercore is done. Cristiano still looking, checking everywhere he can, and he will find it. He does eventually come across the proxy. Not bad. To take a while. No! Okay, thank God. Sounds fine in the end. The robot has been found, and Cristiano, he's still holding on to his resources, has been building up more Stalkers. Stalkers, they rally across the map. We have a backup pylon on the way just in case to keep everything powered. And Cristiano has to go all the way to the high ground to focus on that pylon. Has to go the long way around.
I'm here.
The shot. Gets a probe. Gets a probe, Robo's on the way, third gateway as well. I will say that this tech is delayed here for Cristiano, but it's in production. Ooh, getting caught out, losing one Stalker already. Nice catch for Zoun. Zoun catching a second Stalker as well. Miss rally out of Cristiano. Ay, taking a lot of hits. Yeah, taking too much damage. And now we're racing across the map. Zoun is moving in. Cristiano, does he recall? As he gets off the ramp. Boys are being pulled. It's looking desperate here for Cristiano. Stalkers, they still can't quite come in from behind. Okay, thankfully there's some sentries. So he has force fields. He can slow this down. At the same time, a gateway is exposed. gateway will fall. Takes down the gateway. Likewise, Cristiano, he can one-shot pros, but there's a defensive warp in. Yeah, there's that defensive warp in. Zoun defends. Oh, I'll pick up. Oh, does lose one of the stalkers, but a miscontrol out of Zoun. At the same time, he does snipe a sentry. And Cristiano being knocked down to 2 gateways. Still has a force field. But this second gateway should go down as well. Now, once Cristiano has his own War Prism, he can start to engage a little bit more freely. But until then, he has to be so careful. Goes the gateway. Sunny still maintains that supply lead. Cristiano is still active with these stalkers, and he can maybe try to backstab, maybe try to go for the pylons. There is still some potential. Sound tries to force his way up the ramp. Gets punished. Doesn't lose anything major though, still has that supply lead. It's moving in, and no force fields, none of Benji. Sentries are going to be going down. Stalkers, they come in from behind. They're coming for the surround. Can we get on top of the Immortals? Zoun, he still holds on. Yeah, he breaks through. He breaks through the defensive line. Gets on top of the main army. And there's just not enough to defend. We do have 3 Immortals here for Cristiano. It's a lot of Immortals. Still holds on to them. Okay. He has potential. There's micro. Oh gosh, never mind. Jesus, the Immortals lose so much HP. And Zoun is done. GG gets called. He breaks into the main, and Zoun, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a rough start for Cristiano. It took him a long time to actually scout what was going on and find the proxy. Because it took him so long, he didn't commit to any tech early on. He was just waiting to scout, right? He was waiting to figure out what was going on. Waiting to figure out what exactly the build of choice was. And likewise, despite having those stalkers out on the map, he didn't really find any damage either. He struggled to engage with the army itself. He struggled to counterattack as well. Zoun was all over it. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Zoun takes a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. And again, hopefully things are clearing up here for Cristiano. Unfortunately, latency is something that's just out of our control. Just catching up. What changes were made to shield batteries? Energy overcharge. So now defensively, shield batteries are a little bit weaker, just because they get less of a boost from the energy overcharge. So it's like a slight nerf to defensive play, and it does impact PvP. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Federali in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you, thank you. Do appreciate the support. Do appreciate it. Gracias, gracias. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft as we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. You're my favorite caster. Oh, thank you. Gracias, my gracias. Less than 3. Less than 3. Do appreciate it. We do what we can. We do what we can. We cast what we can. Yeah. Again, it's a pretty intense period in time in StarCraft with all the events happening in NA. We should be a part of the SE for All Philadelphia cast. I don't know if we're going to be a part of the Stellarfest cast. the Selfless main event. We'll see. We'll see. They might allow for a B stream. They might not. We'll see. For now, 2-gate opener out of Cristiano, 2-gate opener out of Zoun. We'll see if Zoun goes for another 1-base all-in. We'll see if he does fake out a proxy instead. Does Cristiano go for his move and try to wall in some probes? Oh. He's looking for an opening. Always. Yeah, as this time there is no workaround on the map. A second pylon in the main base for Zoun, a second pylon in the main base for Cristiano. No proxy. No proxy, no shenanigans, no 1-base all-ins yet. So after an intense game 1, now we're slowing things down, getting into game number 2. Slowing it down. From here, we can go for faster expansions. That is why the probes are in position to block. Cristiano will be the first to expand. And Cristiano, he will pylon block Zoun. So nice delay. This may force out a Stargate instead. It may force out an earlier Twilight Council. Yep, speaking of, there it is. Twilight Council's on the way. So Cristiano, he will have the slightly better economy. Zoun will have the faster blink. So blink is going to be on the horizon. We'll see if Cristiano goes for his own Twilight Council or if he goes for a Robo into an Immortal. Oh, we have the answer. Twilight Council. So both players are heading in the same direction with some slight deviations here and there. One player has a faster Nexus, the other a faster attack. Hallucination will confirm. This is where both players have to figure out what exactly is going on. Is there a Stargate, a Robo, a Twilight Council? And they both confirm. They get eyes on the expansions and on the Twilight Council as well. So far, everything's solid. Everything's as it should be. See, Cristiano is looking for proxies just in case. Bans out all of the observers. Sorry, all of the probes. Hallucinations. Let's go. Jeez, he sees everything. Oh my god. I didn't realize it would last that long. But he fans out and he sees and he scouts every corner of the map. He's looking for a proxy pylon, a proxy dark shrine even. Let's scout the edge of the map. Here we're checking for a gateway explosion. You can see that Cristiano, he has a faster third. Meanwhile, Zoun, he does throw down a proxy pylon. Ooh, and Zoun, he has yet to expand. Shows what she got. 2 gates. Wow, he proxies both gateways. Okay. Which means Cristiano, he sees nothing, right? Because he saw no extra gateways, it screams third base. In his mind, there should be an expansion. He's looking for the proxy just in case. True's like, something is wrong. If there's no extra gateways and if there's no Robo, there's no Robo, there's no Forge, there's no third base, something is wrong, something is amiss. Cristiano getting a shield battery. Battery's on the way. Zoun, he's essentially all in. He's committed. Zoun just waiting for his gateways to kick in. That one shield battery putting in a lot of work. Oh. Let's put in a lot of work. One sentry goes down. Here come the warp-ins. Cristiano gets away. Let's get away. Zoun rotating over towards the natural. He gets spotted. So far, Cristiano's holding on. Yeah, Zoun going for a very late expansion. Third base is on the way. Just now got thrown down. Cristiano, he defends. He's holding. Nice force fields. He locks down the sentries. And the stalkers as well. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there from Zoun. We'll lose the stalker. The odds are very low. Cristiano, he takes a lead. Takes a massive lead here. His third base has been mining this entire time, by the way. No extra gases, true. Gas count is very low. What is he going for? He's going for a gateway explosion into charge into mass zealot. And a fourth expand. Jesus. So a very aggressive follow-up here by Cristiano. What's he doing? Basically gasless. I say gasless, he has two gases. Two gases in the main, no gas at the natural, no gas at the third, no gas at the fourth, and going massive charge loads. Looking to go for a swarm toss composition. Can he get there in time though? Uh-oh. Zoun, he has extra Stalker Warpins, he has a massive Stalker army. Those deflected. Cristiano, we need those Warpins. We need those Zealots soon. Zoun, he still has a massive Stalker lead. And he's going for it. Yeah, he's pushing in. Cristiano, he needs pylons. Okay, 2 more pylons on the way. +1 is almost done. Oh. Cristiano gets pulled out. Leads out 1, 2, 3 Zealots. Oh, just 2. He's still holding on. Charge is now complete. +1 is still on the way. And soon Cristiano can start pushing. Like, up until this moment, he's been stuck defending. That is true, but he's about to hit his power spike here. Of all these gateways, of all the economy, of +1, and the War Prism. Prism is coming, and here comes Cristiano. Zilrun gets caught. Nice catch here from Zoun. Cristiano takes 1 more gas, finally. I feel like we gotta go soon. Where's the Prism? Prism is outside of the main. Army gets spotted. Cristiano responds. What's the chase? Oh, blinks in. Jesus. The blinks in. Was a bold blink. Yeah, it was bold. Now he commits. Commits in, picking up Zealots. Sorry, picking up Stalkers for Zealots. These are more efficient trades for Cristiano. At the same time, top left, he will defend. He's got shield barriers, he has Zealots. But Cristiano's running out of Zealots. He needs those Warpins. He needs his army. He's pulling back around. He defends his fourth. Being pulled apart a little bit. +2 is almost complete. Cristiano's almost there. He's going across the map. He's going across. He's trying to defend with the bare minimum, but oh, that's a bit of an F2. He comes back. Okay, coming in for the surround. Okay, let's go. He does go in for the surround. Catching out the Stalkers. Very nice. That's a lot of Stalkers getting caught out. Yeah, and with that, he will catch him out completely here. Cristiano, he's going to run away with this. Catches out every single Stalker. And Cristiano snowballs out of control. GG gets called, and Cristiano, he will tap the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We're going to game number 3. Again, Zoun, he went for a very committed build. He went for, I would say, a 2-base all-in. It was a 2-base all-in. Remember, he went for a 4-gate setup. 2 gateways are proxied across the map, and the goal was to kill Cristiano then and there. But he didn't. He did not kill him. We saw that Zoun, he was trying to push in. He didn't get into any mineral lines. He didn't break the base. And as he was failing to get damage done, Cristiano was freely mining at his own 3rd expansion. Fully saturated as well, which led into his 4th base, which led into the Forge +1 and Charge as well. That is why over time, Cristiano snowballed out of control. And he was able to break through and overwhelm his opponents with the better upgrades, with the larger army, with the better economy. Zoun fell behind. He fell behind. That's also why we did point out when he took his 3rd base, we were like, oh. Like, he took his 3rd. That was Zoun identifying that he could no longer kill and that he was just going to play catch up, and he was not able to catch up. GG. GG, well played. With that, Cristiano snowballs out of control, and with that, we are now getting into our next game. And with that, we're getting into the ace match. And we'll see how this story ends. This could go either way, to be honest. Like, this could go the way of Cristiano, could go the way of Zoun. Let's go. And game 3 is going to be on Persephone. Here we go. Oh. I see in the chat. I want to file a complaint. How am I supposed to be playing StarCraft while there's a StarCraft tournament going on? Oh, no. Fun fact, I was very similar, actually. I remember back in the day when I used to watch StarCraft, I could not play at the same time because the sound effects of the game that was going on Twitch would mess me up so hard. Like, I would it is so difficult to like to play and to like watch or listen to StarCraft at the same time because like the sound effects and the noises they mess you up, or at least they mess me up. I can't do it, Bobby. I can't do it. Oh no. But here we go. Here we go. This morning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss, the South Korean Protoss representing Team Vitality, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, we have the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Cristiano. We go. As we're getting into the ace match. And we'll see how this story ends. Zoun does head across the map immediately, so going for a much earlier scout. Let's keep an eye on Cristiano. Now, after what happened in the last game, I would imagine that Zoun is going to just calm things down and play standard. I would imagine. As Zoun was punished for his attempted aggression. He was punished quite hard last game for his 2-base play. Zoun just being as annoying as possible. He gets eyes on the pylon, a second pylon on the main base for Cristiano, likewise second pylon on the main base for Zoun as well. So both players have their pylons, both players playing standard. No proxy. From here, we can either expand or throw down our tech. The probe for Cristiano is getting very low, so he cannot dance around, he cannot pylon block, not as freely. Meanwhile, Zoun, his own probe, can. His own probe is on full HP, full shields. Tasing away at the worker. Yep, there we go, there's a pylon block. Cristiano, he does land his own though. Okay, impressive. Very impressive. Both players get bluffed. Both players are delayed. There's the cancellation. There's the expand. And both players don't go for their tech first. Both players go for the Nexus into a later tech structure. Hello. Zoun just scouting on the right-hand side. Twilight counts out of Cristiano. Going for his council. Same can be said here for Zoun. Oh. And I believe Cristiano barely did scout. Yep, he's aware, he knows. Likewise, so does Zoun. And just like last game, the question becomes, do our players expand and get a third base, or do our players go for an extra gateway explosion? We saw that Zoun was aggressive with 4 gates last game, and he did fall in his face. This time, we're assuming that he will take a faster third and head into the mid game. Here's our assumption. Once again, Cristiano does Probe Scout. I say Probe Scout, he does Hallucinate Probe Scout. Checks all the corners. There's the expansion. Cristiano is the first to expand and get a third. And Zoun not too far behind him. We'll do the same. Yeah, so this time Zoun is calming down. We're calming down. We're expanding. We're building up. So far, both players are neck and neck. Like, there's a slightly faster third base for Cristiano, but only by a couple of seconds. Forge is on the way for Cristiano as well. We should be seeing one soon for Zoun. Okay. So Zoun instead is going for a faster Robo. Robo, gateways, extra gas. Cristiano doing the same. Going for his own Robo as well. Still no Forge, so there is going to be a window in time where Cristiano has +1 over his opponent. We go +1 has begun. So that is going to be an advantage that Cristiano can leverage. Hallucination does confirm. So Zoun, he's aware of the Forge. He's aware of the third. And Zoun, he's moving out. Does have a slightly larger army. Slightly larger. Does pick up the sentries, not bad. Gets one, gets two. Ooh, almost three. But very nice catch. Yeah, Cristiano is punished. Was out of position. Head up, save here off towards the right hand side. They're headed towards the natural. And once again, Cristiano just having a hard time reacting here to Zoun. And no major losses outside of the sentries. So Cristiano, he has less sentries, he has less hallucinations. Adepts have yet to go in. They do scout the fourth. Zoun taking his own. Cristiano is moving out. The armies, they do pass by each other. Base trade? We might just base trade. Okay. Both players are +1. Both players are still +2. Zoun pushes towards the third, and meanwhile, Cristiano hits the fourth. The third base is more impactful, so better start for Zoun. Zoun gets into the mineral line. He does break through. At the same time, Zells they peel off into the natural and into the third. Probes they evacuate from both sides. So both players will evacuate. Bases are falling. We can see Cristiano diving into the main. Does push in. Going for the Cybercore. Cybercore's going to go down. Probes, they should not escape. Ooh, can he deny +2? +2 is going to be huge. Will +2 finish it for Cristiano? So far, it's being left untouched. Nice save. Yeah, War Prism does save a couple of workers. Forge goes down. And Cristiano, this might finish. It might. Oh, I chose the pylon though. Nah, never mind. Pylon goes down. D-power is +2. And +2 will not finish for either player. As all the buildings are going down. Zoun, he does evacuate towards the other side though. Yep, there we go. Probes in the main. And Cristiano, he will take the natural. He'll take the natural of Zoun. Zoun, he'll throw down his own base soon, I'm sure. Where are we headed? Probes, they're fanning out all over the place. They're scouting. Oh, Zoun, sorry, my apologies. He cannot afford it. I assumed he had the money. Zoun, he cannot afford a Nexus. Oh, that is brutal. Yeah, Zoun, he's revealed. He has a bunch of probes surviving, but I mean, they only just survived. He can afford one more pylon, or he can afford extra gases. True, assimilators. Now, when it comes to the main armies, the supplies is still very close. Zoun does have this slightly larger army here. Zoun, he has more. He has more zealots. Actually, supplies. He has sentries as well. Supplies is still very close. Be so careful with how you engage. And Zoun goes to the dive. The prism. Ooh, prism goes down. Massive pickup. He cannot micro. Yeah, that is huge. Yeah, and from here, Zoun can just snowball out of control. He can push in. He can push through. That was a brutal fight. And Cristiano, his best chance, his best opportunity would be to counterattack and try to hit the pylon. Can he get across? Can he kill the pylon? He won't be able to. Yeah, he'll lose everything here. Does trade with the Archons, does try to. Cristiano, he's going for the pylon. He's going for it. Let's go. Now, do we have any probes? Yes, there's still some probes, and you can see they're ready for assimilators. They're ready for the assimilators. Cristiano, no, he can still afford some pylons. He has to get out of here. The probes, no, they have to get away. The probes are going down. There's one probe. Okay, there's one probe left. Okay, he's ready. Yeah, he's ready. There's the assimilator. Ooh. Cristiano needs to be careful. So we have one assimilator here in the center of the map. Cristiano, he throws down his own at the gold. Oh, the probe, no, the probe. That's the only probe. Cristiano, he will lose it. Yeah, probe goes down. Big blunder, which means Cristiano cannot throw anything more down. He goes for the dive, but he doesn't have the DPS. He doesn't have it. He's going for the dive. He will not get it. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on into semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Cristiano, he had more money, he could throw down more buildings, but his army was lacking. Unfortunately, he had a really rough start to the fight. If you remember, the supplies were quite close, but we saw that the first thing to go down was the War Prism, which means he could not micro, he could not preserve any of his army, could not blink backwards. Meanwhile, we saw that Zoun just overwhelmed. He was able to push up the ramp, it took a much stronger fight, and with that, GG. GG, well played. There was a chance if Cristiano could avoid the fight, bypass the army, get across the map, and commit to the base trade again for a second time, then maybe, but again, it was just a really rough fight that Cristiano took, and from there, he was on the back foot. GG. GG, well played. A very clutch series, very close game, but congratulations to Zoun as he does claim it, and let's catch up in the bracket. Let's figure out what's going on. Where are we? Let's go. Let us go. As we do have Euthermal. Euthermal takes down Percival 2-1. Euthermal's up against Shin in the next round. I believe that is being covered by Steadfast. I think Steadfast is covering that series, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check here. Yeah, he's in the ace match. He's in the ace match between Euthermal and Shin. Meanwhile, Creator and Spirit, they're mid-series. They are currently mid-series. Zoun takes down Cristiano 2-1. Nightmare takes down Ryung 2-1, and we have Zoun versus Nightmare in the lower semifinals. Let me double check here. Now, I do not know if we're going to be holding the semis. That's the thing that I'm unaware. Okay. So I have confirmation. So Zoun and Nightmare are ready, but that series is going to be held and is going to be casted by Steadfast. So Steadfast is currently in Shin versus Euthermal, and he will be covering Zoun versus Nightmare. We, as a result, are in a bit of a precarious situation. We're waiting for Creator and Spirit to open up. Waiting for them to open up. Here we go. Now, if Creator and Spirit, if they're in game 1 or game 2, then we can get in there. So we might be running out of matches here. Might be running out. Just as a heads up, because we are the B stream, we will not be getting into the same matches as Steadfast. So we cannot cover Zoun versus Nightmare. We cannot cover the upper semis. Again, we might be able to cover the tail end of Spirit versus Creator. That's the most we can do. so we might have half a series left. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think anyone is currently in that series, so I don't know where they are at the moment. So I guess for the time being, we're going to be going to a break. We're going to be cutting to a very, very short break here. And when we return, we will either have a Creator and Spirit mid-series, or we'll wrap up. One or the other. So a bit of a shorter stream today, but it's all good. We'll be back soon. We'll be back soon here with, again, hopefully one more game. Una más, papi. Una más. See you soon. Back everyone, welcome back to the final series of the broadcast. We are mid-series here, jumping into Creator vs. Spirit, and we are tied up 1 apiece. Let's go, and spawning in the right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player, we have the Red Protoss. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Polish Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PvP. Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be getting in. And again, this should be our final matchup. This should be our final game when it comes to said series. As Steadfast should be covering the remainder of the broadcast, should be covering both semifinals and the qualifying match as well. Should be on that. As now we are going to be moving out across the map. We do have our probe being sent towards the left hand side. We'll avoid the main scouting pattern. Interesting. You have my attention. The Creator. E-Ray block is coming in, and Creator, he will scout this immediately. He can pull the boys and he will respond. So if boys are being pulled, he will get on top of that SCV. Here we'll zone away. From here, the evade should be cancelled, should be shut down. Likewise, across the map, we do see a Creator, Creator being annoying, going for the pylon block. So both players will delay each other. Both players are going to be delayed in their own way. There's a cancel. And there's the expand. So from here, we're both just building up. More economic openers more than anything. A delayed, disrupted opener start from our 2 players, and now we can settle in. Now, when it comes to Game 1 and Game 2, I don't really have any basis to go off of there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cover them. Likewise, there wasn't another language caster in that series either. I know that Indy is now with us. He's also going to be covering the Ace match. When it comes to how Game 1 and Game 2 unfolded, I can't quite say. Cannot quite say. So from here we have our 1-1-1 follower. Likewise, that Twilight Council at a Creator. To our tech of choice. Now, getting into the mid game, or getting into a longer game set here, when it comes to TVP, we have seen a lot of Protoss players excel when it comes to gaining map control, especially with the newer Storm. We'll see if creators also want to invest into earlier Storm. It is still very much so viable to go into early Colossus production. We didn't really get to discuss this actually, just because we've been covering nothing but PvP. It's just been pure PvP tonight. But coming into PvT, it's a matchup that has changed and has to be adapted to coming into the new patch. But we do have a faster 3rd CC out of Spirit instead. A very greedy build. Okay. Does go for the greed instead. And so far, unscouted. Creator, he does at least confirm the initial drop. Is aware of the Widow Mines. Hallucination is zoned away. And again, the Creator, he is unaware of just how greedy Spirit is being. Now, when it comes to this fast 3rd base, this doesn't really kick in until he lands it on location. Once he gets his 3rd base saturated, it should be saturated faster than normal, and then he can snowball out of control with a larger army in the mid game. It's a big power spike in the mid game available now for Spirit. Meanwhile, we do see the Creator, he actually goes for a faster 3rd. Okay, so he won't be too far behind. It is very common in the current meta to go for a faster Robo, to go for faster gases, and sometimes even splash damage before taking a 3rd base. But here, loading into Maganatha, the largest map, loading into Tokamak, one of the larger maps in the map pool, here we do go for a greedier build. So Creator, he's cutting corners, being greedy, does take a faster third. And remember, the hallucination did see the Widowmine drop, so he is aware and he should be getting ready for it. Yep, Stalkers are in the main, and Stalkers here at the natural. He is ready. Setting up.
Boom.
Oh, actually, hold on. Yeah, I should follow suit here. So I do apologize. We're gonna be back very quickly, momentarily here. Hopefully nothing gets broken. From here, we're taking our third base. Creator, he's setting up with 3 bases. Likewise, so is Spirit. We're gonna take a moment here. We're gonna be going on a very, very short break. I do apologize, but I was not made aware that I do have to turn on a delay. So I do apologize. Delay is gonna turn on, and you shouldn't really miss anything here. But the stream is gonna be down for a couple of minutes. We'll see you guys very soon. We'll see you guys very soon here for the continuation of this game. Oh.